This is my first video of DIY with me. Living in my own forsaken apartment, I have had to compromise in order to accommodate the problems and issues arise when your landlord cannot, or more importantly, will not come and do the repairs themselves. Well, the last time they came, they told me the main reason they refused to ever come out again was due to the stench coming from my wife. He told me that he spent a few years in Africa, in the savannah, and had the unfortunate instance of being sprayed by a striped polecat. For those of you who don't know, a striped polecat is in essence a type of skunk, except the juices it produces are incredibly more potent than the skunk itself. Nothing can get rid of the stench, not paint thinner, or ammonia can ever get rid of the juices that penetrate through the skin. My landlord told me that my wife smelt considerably worse than the humble polecat. He said that he had to burn his clothes and shave all the hair off his body after the encounter he had with her. I would have said he was exaggerating, except that I physically vomit whenever I am 5 meters away from her. There's puddles of my vomit littered around my apartment, to which I have no intention of cleaning. It's just a vomit-filled house with no room to sit on the floor unless you want to be covered in my squelchy stomach contents. So this gets me to my first point, paint. If you're like me, you can't afford to buy paint. Anyway, why buy paint when you can make it yourself? So use a bucket, any bucket will do. I prefer to use a KFC party bucket. If you choose this bucket, ensure you leave plenty of grease in there. Trust me, you won't regret it. The grease will be a great stabilizer to bond the mixture of your ready-made paint. Let me ask you this, when you clip your nails, what do you do with them? If this answer is throw thee away, you are an absolute idiot. You can use the nails as a main ingredient in paint. You grind them up and this causes the paint to stick together, much like melted horse feet used for glue. You must grind up your nails to a fine powder dust. Remember, nobody likes to see pieces of nail on your walls. You then add your next ingredient, soap. About 10 squirts of soap does good. However, I like to add chicken grease instead. That 10 teaspoons of chicken grease, that works incredibly well. You add 2 eggs, including the shell if you are going for an eggshell finish. If not, don't add the shells. You then add 10 tablespoons of salt and about 100 grams of washing up powder. Don't forget your colorings. For red, I add red wine. For white, I add toothpaste. I have plenty of toothpaste as my wife never brushes her teeth. If you want a musty brown, you can add left toilet water for a lovely light shade of brown. You then add your final ingredient, ammonia. Ammonia is hard to find, and you will most likely break many laws to get your hands on some. A much more legal way of finding ammonia is found within a very natural ingredient. That's right, you guessed it, urine. Urine provides the necessary chemical structure to ensure that your paint reaches the correct pH value and the correct liquidity when applying. Unfortunately, you cannot piss straight into the bucket. You piss in a separate bucket, and please ensure that you do not consume any fluids for 24 hours before urinating. Once you have urinated into a separate bucket, the ammonia should be like a thick maple syrup consistency. You will then have to leave that bucket for 72 hours before fusing the 2 separate concoctions together. You know the ammonia is ready when you put your head in the bucket. It will create a great stinging sensation in your eyes. If you look in the mirror and your eyes are red, you know that it is ready. If not, leave the bucket for another 24 hours. So there you have it, a highly flammable paint mixture that will leave your walls with a very shiny, durable, and wipeable finish. This brings me now to my last point, the roller. Why spend money on paint roller? You can get one practically for free. Do you like corn on the cob? Good. Don't discard your eaten corn on the cob, instead use it as a paint roller. All you need to do is wrap it in kitchen paper roll. Once rolled up, you're all set for painting. So benefits of using a cob roller are 1. Consistency. 2. Texture. 3. Ease of use. 4. Cheaper appliance. 5. Good for the environment. 6. Your walls smell good. 7. You only need to use 1 coat of paint. Additionally, this is good for the environment. You know what your paint is made out of. Why use unbranded paint, made of chemicals and substances that could be dangerous? Why not go natural, cheaper, and durable? Go natural. I will guarantee you will feel considerably better about yourself. My wife has gone natural for years. And when I say natural, she doesn't wear any clothes. She says they are uncomfortable, make her itch, and she's always too hot. I guess having 25 inches of blubber really take a toll on your body. The only issue is, I physically feel my eyes melt a little bit every time I glance her way. Anyway, I hope this has been educational. I will be posting more DIY tips in the future.